Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving back into that time I got reincarnated as a slime. The episode begins exactly where the previous one ended. After Mariabell's scheme causes chaos inside the ancient ruins of Amrita, the long-awaited confrontation between her and Rimuru finally begins. She believes that power is the only thing that truly matters in this world, and that only those strong enough to dominate others deserve to stand at the top. Rimuru, however, completely rejects that way of thinking. Determined to settle their conflict once and for all, he tells Mariabell that there is only one way to decide who is truly right. At the same time, Yuuki steps forward and announces that he will be Cheyenne's opponent. Hearing this, Cheyenne immediately laughs at him. Without hesitation, she launches an attack. To her surprise, Yuuki blocks her strike with ease. It becomes clear that he is far stronger than anyone expected. Meanwhile, Mariabell activates greed once again and orders one of her followers to attack Rimuru. However, the battle lasts only a moment. With a single attack, Rimuru completely overwhelms him. Mariabell is left speechless. For the first time, Mariabell begins to understand the overwhelming gap between herself and a true demon lord. Refusing to give up, she activates another spell and secretly sends a magical command outside the ruins. Although Rimuru notices something unusual, he cannot immediately determine what she has done. At the same time, Cheyenne and the others suddenly find their bodies becoming heavier. Mariabell reveals that she has prepared a holy field designed specifically to weaken monsters. Confident that her plan is finally working, she declares that Rimuru has walked directly into her trap. However, Rimuru calmly analyzes the situation and removes the spell. The moment the holy field disappears, Mariabell's expression changes. The confidence she displayed only moments earlier begins to disappear. Rimuru then reveals something even more shocking. From the very beginning, he expected Mariabell to try controlling him. Rather than avoiding her trap, he intentionally allowed her to approach him. In other words, Mariabell was never the hunter, she was the prey. Realizing this, Mariabell decides to unleash everything she has. Dark energy erupts around Rimuru as she activates her strongest attack. Believing victory is finally within reach, but moments later, his voice echoes from within the attack. Using Raphael's analysis, Rimuru quickly discovers the weakness of her ability. Because he possesses ultimate skills, Mariabell's unique skill is simply incapable of affecting him. And Raphael says she has zero chance to win this battle. Rimuru gives her one final opportunity to surrender. If she abandons her ambitions, he is willing to spare her life. Unfortunately, Mariabell refuses. Driven by pride and desperation, she launches one final assault. The battle quickly becomes one-sided. No matter what attack she uses, Rimuru effortlessly avoids it. Even the dark energy she unleashes is absorbed without effect. Eventually, Rimuru defeats her and prepares to bring the battle to an end. However, before he can do so, the situation suddenly changes. Yuuki enters the fight. Having already defeated Cheyenne, he attacks Rimuru directly. Unlike Mariabell, Yuuki proves to be a genuine threat. He reveals an unusual ability known as anti-skill. To everyone's surprise, Yuuki even manages to sever one of Rimuru's arms. Although Rimuru quickly regenerates the damage, he realizes that Yuuki is far more dangerous than he originally believed. The battle continues as both sides exchange sword strikes. Throughout the fight, Rimuru tries to determine whether Yuuki is truly being controlled. After a fierce exchange of attacks, Rimuru finally gains the upper hand. Just as he prepares to finish the battle, Kigali intervenes. She pleads Rimuru to spare Yuuki. According to her, Yuuki's willpower is far too strong to be completely dominated by someone like Mariabell. Yuuki suddenly begins to recover. Then, the truth is finally revealed. Yuuki was never fully under Mariabell's control. Much of what happened was simply an act. Meanwhile, Mariabell retreats deeper into the ruins. As a last resort, she decides to activate the ancient power source hidden within Amrita. However, when she finally reaches her destination, something feels wrong. The power source she was searching for isn't there. Before she can investigate any further, familiar voices suddenly call out to her. Yuuki and Kigali have followed her. At first, Mariabell is relieved to see Yuuki. She still believes he remains completely under the influence of her greed skill. But that confidence quickly disappears. Yuuki calmly reveals the truth. He was never truly controlled. From the very beginning, he had only been pretending. Everything Mariabell believed was part of her plan had actually played directly into Yuuki's hands. Mariabell is left completely stunned. But it is already too late. Yuuki's unique abilities completely overwhelm her. The very power she relied upon begins slipping away from her and flowing into Yuuki instead. In the end, Mariabell Rosso is defeated by the person she believed she had under her control. With her final plans shattered and her ambitions brought to an end, Mariabell's life comes to a close. Meanwhile, far away from the ruins, Miliam continues her battle against the Chaos Dragon. And with that dangerous confrontation still unresolved, and the episode comes to an end. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.